will say this is with Bitcoin, it was looking real weak over here in March, and then we got the banking crisis, and that really gave new life to Bitcoin, right? And again, you're seeing today some issues with the banks. Bitcoin's bouncing a little. It's not getting much of a bounce, but the one positive, and again, even though I'm overall negative over the next few months on it, the positive is the banking crisis just lends more credence to why you need Bitcoin, why you need cryptocurrencies to be able to get away from these banks and what they're doing and the risky bets they're taking and have your money secure in something like a Bitcoin. So I think longer term, at least, it's a very positive thing for Bitcoin.
Gareth Soloway, an expert in cryptocurrency trading, has revealed his closely monitored approach to tracking Bitcoin price movements by analyzing charts to uncover patterns and trends. In a recent interview, Soloway shared his predictions for Bitcoin and Ether in the midst of the current financial turmoil. Despite the previous run-up to $69,000, Bitcoin has struggled to surpass the psychological level of $30,500, which was also the low point in 2021. Soloway has recently provided his insights on the current state of Bitcoin, which has been experiencing a surge in value in recent months and is now rapidly approaching the $30,000 mark. "We are at an epic level on Bitcoin," he said, referring to US $30,500, which the cryptocurrency hit on April 14. "What I mean by that is in terms of psychology of the market, this level is the top level to watch, meaning that if we can break it, that's very bullish. The lows are officially in on Bitcoin at US $15,700. If we can't, then for me there's still an opening for Bitcoin to go down to the US $12,000 to US $13,000 level, maybe even below that," he said. This level is a crucial technical and psychological barrier for Bitcoin, and its inability to break past has resulted in significant pullbacks. As a result of recent turmoil in the banking sector, Bitcoin is increasing in value. In his previous interview, Soloway mentioned, "I think we're seeing these flashes of what Bitcoin can be, this amazing asset that is a protection asset against other issues in the global sphere, but it's not quite there yet." Before proceeding further in this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button below for more recent updates.
Now, so the big level I've been watching is this 30,500 level, and this level goes all the way back. I'm going to get rid of this level here. So if you go back to the beginning of that mega run up in early 2021, then we had that collapse where we hammered on this level here. We then went up, and then we actually bear flagged before breaking down. So the 30,500 level to me is that line in the sand. The market on Bitcoin tried to get over it. And it couldn't. It stalled out. We fell. We now bounced. Now we're kind of falling again. So for me, that was a line where I would say if we got above and stayed above, the low of 15.7 is probably the low. We haven't done that yet. So I'm not convinced that Bitcoin has bottomed. And in fact, even though there's so much bullishness out there on crypto, I would just remind people that if you go back to 2018, 2019, there were bounces that were bigger than this bounce in Bitcoin, right? I mean, we had a $3,500 low on Bitcoin. We then went near 10,000 before retracing to 3,500. That's almost a 3x, right? Mm-hmm. So yes, it's a great bounce, but it's not abnormal for a bear market bounce cycle.
The recent banking crisis in the U.S. has sparked renewed interest in Bitcoin, Ether, and other cryptocurrencies. In response to the crisis, the Bitcoin price has surged back to $30,000 after experiencing significant fluctuations this month. Additionally, the Ether price has also rebounded following a sudden increase in institutional activity. Crypto winter finally over bank crisis, a catalyst for huge $2 trillion Bitcoin prediction as Ether price suddenly storms back.
Ethereum. So the first thing that pops out to me when I look at Ethereum's chart is the difference between it and Bitcoin, right? So we've seen in Bitcoin where it made this 30,000, the 30,000 high was the high. Here in Ethereum it was about 2,150. We then had a pullback and then we kind of retested 30,000. Ethereum never did that. And so the first thing that tells me on Bitcoin versus Ethereum is that Bitcoin is seeing a little bit of extra money flow from the banking crisis, while Ethereum is really not seeing much of that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have a very clear bear flag here. We started to break lower. You still have support here at 1,800. But if this 1,800 gives way, you're going right to 1,700 and then eventually to 1,500. So for me, looking at this is much more of a bearish chart to me. Bitcoin to me also has downside, but it's not as bearish as the Ethereum chart.
As April draws to a close, Bitcoin's price has remained relatively stable, making it difficult to predict its short-term direction. Despite the potential for increased volatility due to lower weekend liquidity, Bitcoin has been trading sideways with an unusual calm as the weekly and monthly candle closes approached on April 30th. Gareth Soloway has noticed this trend, and his insights provide valuable information for those interested in monitoring Bitcoin's movements. Moreover, governments and central banks worldwide are exploring central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, which draw inspiration from Bitcoin and other digital currencies. China is currently leading the way with its digital yuan, but critics have expressed concerns that CBDCs will give governments unprecedented power to surveil and control citizens. According to Gareth Soloway, the introduction of central bank digital currencies, CBDC, by governments could lead to significant developments in the cryptocurrency market, including the entry of major players.
Look at what Coinbase is doing. Coinbase is suing the Securities Exchange Commission, the SEC, because they're saying, "Hey guys, we've asked you a million times for the rules. We'll follow the rules. We just need to know the rules," and they're still not getting the rules.
Right.
And so, to me, what this is telling me is that the government wants to get the CBDC out there to get a foothold before they give the clarity in the crypto markets. Because once they give clarity in the crypto markets, then the big players are going to start getting in and starting establishing the crypto sphere, the Bitcoin as the place to be. And so they need the CBDC to launch first so that they can get a foothold first. And by the way, this is exactly what China did, right? China essentially said, "Hey, we're going to get rid of or outlaw Bitcoin." And what do? They launched the digital yuan. Now the digital yuan has a foothold in China. It's being used as kind of a reserve currency with other countries. Now they're like, okay, Bitcoin is now okay because we have that foothold with our CBDC essentially.
However, if Bitcoin is able to break through 30,500 level, the resistance trend line weakens with each attempt, much like repeatedly hitting a door. While the chances of Bitcoin breaking higher are still slim, they are improving with each attempt. On this note, we conclude our video. Do you agree with Gareth Soloway's perspective about Bitcoin and Ether's surge during financial crisis? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this information helpful, then like this video and subscribe to our channel. We will bring you more updates in the future.